My name is Tom Lowe. I was born in Silvertown, London, in 1895. This is my story. The Lowes originally came from Manchester. My grandfather relocated to London in the early 1860s, and my dad, also called Tom, was born in Silvertown in 1865. My mum, Margaret, was born in Stepney in 1867. My dad was an engine fitter. He worked long hours and enjoyed a pint. I had an elder sister, Jessie, 7 years older than me, and an older brother, John, 3 years older than me. Around this time, Silvertown was one of Britain's busiest and toughest industrial districts. Industry dominated everything. Sugar refineries, chemical works, rubber factories, engineering works, and the nearby Royal Victoria and Royal Albert docks employed thousands of workers. Rows of small Victorian terraced houses packed with dockers, labourers, factory workers and their families surrounded the factories. The air was often thick with smoke, soot and chemical fumes, while the streets were noisy with steam engines, horse-drawn carts and dock traffic. Life was hard, but close-knit. Most families were working class, incomes were modest, and overcrowding was common, but neighbours relied heavily on one another. The docks connected Silvertown to the world, so it had a bustling, cosmopolitan feel, with ships arriving daily, carrying goods from across the British Empire. In 1901, I was 6 years old. We were now living at 32 Constant Street. Many years later, a book would be written about that very street. Younger brother William, or Willie as he was known, had joined us. He was a few years younger than me. Drew Road School was one of the main elementary schools serving the children of Silvertown's dock and factory workers. It was operated by the West Ham School Board, just before responsibility passed to local education authorities in the early 1900s. The headmaster in 1902 was A.J. White, a terrifying individual. My first day at school was nerve-wracking. I remember my dad taking me. He had been off from work for some time with ill health, but he was well enough to accompany me on that first day. I was glad he did. Drew Road looked terrifying. As well as my brothers and sister, just around the corner in Albert Road, lived my Uncle Hugh and his family. Hugh was my dad's brother, and we were all in and out of each other's houses all the time. I was close to Fred, Hugh's son, and my cousin. We were the same age and spent loads of time together both in and out of school. We had some laughs, that's for sure. The docks and factories, pubs and shops were all part of our daily life. We knew nothing else, and we were always up to something. In August of 1901, a new addition completed the family. Leslie, or Big Les, as we called him, was a big and loud baby, and he had Mum running around all over the place. He was funny, and we all doted on him. In 1905, I was 10 years old. In the summer, the school broke, and Fred and I would spend our days playing football, cricket, and enjoying the long, sunny days. Apart from Uncle Hugh, my dad had another brother, Bill. He lived over the water, a short ferry ride away in leafy Charlton. The Woolwich ferry was great fun. We would ride back and forth until bored, or until the captain's staff would chase us off. We would go over to Charlton often. It was much more rural than Silvertown, and we would have great fun and games, mainly with our cousin Eva. She was the same age as us, and she was much better at football than Fred. My Uncle Bill, and cousin Eva of course, lived at number 61 Mount Street, Charlton, just next to Marion Park. Just up the road at number 48 Mount Street, lived Eva's friend, Daisy. Daisy and her family had previously lived in Parker Street in Silvertown, while Eva and Uncle Bill and their family lived just round the corner in Leonard Street. And the family knew each other well, and both moved from Silvertown to Charlton at the same time. Daisy's dad worked in the rubber factory in Silvertown and still travelled there every day from Charlton. Daisy was a little older than Eva, and it was from her that Eva learned her footballing skills. Daisy's older brother was a good footballer, and occasionally he would come over to Marion Park and he would join in and have a game with all us kids. He was a great bloke, and we all looked up to him. His name was Nobby. That wasn't his real name, but everybody called him it. Nobby Nightingale. He played for a few local clubs, including newly formed Charlton Athletic, and we would go and watch him play sometimes. On the 2nd of May, 1906, after a long illness, my dad, Tom, passed away at home. He was 40. It was a difficult time for all the family. I was 11. Big Les was 5 and very confused. Mum was completely heartbroken. By 1911, the family was living at nearby Hartman Road. Widowed Mum had us 4 boys and big sister Jessie to keep her busy. Jessie and I were both now working at the rubber factory. John was an engineer to keep in the family tradition. Willie was a lift engineer, and Big Les drove all of us mad. It really was a crazy household. It was around this time that I met another Daisy. Daisy Adams was from Plaistow, and she was a sorter in the rubber factory. We clicked instantly, and before long we were an item.
Tom could really make me laugh. He was so funny. Before long we were inseparable. I remember the first time I visited his home in Hartman Road. His mum Margaret was a lovely lady. She had the enviable ability to let the madness of the boys wash right over her. Tom and I got on like a house on fire, and our relationship went from strength to strength. By 1914, we were an established item. My dad, William, really liked him, but Tom only ever came to our house a couple of times. I had 6 siblings, all girls, from 5 to 19 years old, and I think he felt a little outnumbered. My dad was used to an all-female household, although he did look old for his age.
The summer of 1914 was a hot one. Too hot to be working in the rubber factory, that's for sure. It was now 8 years since Dad passed away, and Mum, despite having us lot keeping her busy, seemed a little lonely. So we were all delighted when she met and started a relationship with Henry Houchin from West Ham. Henry was younger than Mum, 19 years younger. He was only a couple of years older than my big sister Jessie. But he was a nice man, and Mum would marry him a year later, in 1915.
The rubber factory was hard work and long hours, but we did get a day off every week, and Tom and I would spend ours together. We would walk, laugh, and talk about all sorts of things. Our lives were full. Work took up most of our time. We cared little for worldwide events, and the radio and newspapers were our only source of any news. So when Tom's cousin Fred kept telling us that something was going to happen soon, we took little notice. Fred had been in the Territorial Army for 4 years, and he would come out with all sorts of things.
For once, we should have listened to Fred. In August, the outbreak of war in Europe was unavoidable, and the military was mobilizing.
All of a sudden, everybody had an opinion. Young men were signing up in their droves. The mood seemed to change. A mixture of anger and national pride swept the nation. Tom's mum, like many other similar mums in the area, feared the worst.
I was beside myself with worry. Damn the government and their stupid wars. My children were my life, and that's exactly what they were to me. Children. I could see the writing on the wall for my 3 eldest boys. I was worried sick.
Tom wasted no time. By the end of August, he and younger brother Willie had both enlisted. Woolwich Recruitment Office. Tom in the East Kent Regiment, or the Buffs as they were known, and Willie in the Army Service Corps. Cousin Fred would swap his territorial status for that of professional soldier, and he was promoted to corporal at the outbreak of the war. Tom's mum didn't know who or what to worry about first. She was in a right old state. I kept telling her that it'll all be over by Christmas and they'll all be home and around the table for Christmas dinner. Personally, I wasn't so sure though.
It was something I had to do. We all had to pull together. We had to take the fight to the Hun before they brought the fight to us. I wasn't scared. What was to be scared of? We would win easily. Of that, I was certain. The Hun versus all the allies of Europe. We had the best guns and the best army. Everybody said so. After a long period of training in Aldershot, it was off to Folkestone to board the HMS Queen for Boulogne. 26 officers and 866 other ranks made the short journey across the Channel. As I boarded the huge ship to take us to France, I looked back at Blighty and wondered when I would see her again. I thought of my mum, Daisy, even Big Les. I was sure that I would miss them all. But now, my big adventure was about to begin. I'd never been outside of London before. The only boat I'd ever been on was the Woolwich ferry. I wondered what France would be like, if the weather was any nicer there. I would soon have all of my questions answered.
We all waited anxiously for any news. The rubber factory was very close to Tom's house, and I would regularly drop in after work for a cup of tea and to see if there was any news of Tom, Willie or Fred. And his mum and I would discuss his whereabouts, what he might be doing. The house in Hartman Road seemed very quiet. Only Big Les was left, and he would make the most of that. He was very funny and very cheeky.
Life went on in Silvertown. All around, people went about their lives. The war was all anybody could speak of. And so we waited for any news of the boys.
After a pleasant if somewhat cramped crossing of the Channel, we finally arrived in France. I was now Private G397 Lowe, East Kent Regiment, 6th Battalion, the Buffs. When we got to the camp, it was pretty chaotic. Nobody knew what to do or where to go. Eventually, we were on the move. Dearest Daisy, I hope this letter finds you well and you're in good health. It seems such a long time since we last saw each other. How is the rubber factory? I'm not missing that place one jot. Did Uncle Hugh receive any further letters from Fred? I know that Mum said Dad has moved to the Royal Surreys now. Do you have any idea of his whereabouts? How did Mum and Henry's wedding go? Did Big Les behave himself? I know you went because Mum wrote to me. I was so sorry that I was unable to attend, but the war waits for no man. Mum said that Henry has enlisted. Do you have any idea with whom? It would be strange to see him out here. I couldn't imagine that. Some lads just arrived from Ypres, Irish lads, and you'll never guess who they were camped up with. My friend from Charlton, Nobby Nightingale. I think you met him once when we went to my cousin Eva's house. Good old Nobby. It would be great to see him out here, but that, I'm afraid, is highly unlikely. He is with the Royal Garrison Artillery. We received orders at 11:30 this morning. The battalion undertook a 45-minute march to Mazingarbe, a small village near the town of Luz. So, after all this time, it looks like we will see some action. Some of the lads are clucking to get going. There are some real characters here. It takes all sorts, my dad always used to say. So here we are, waiting for further orders. We'll be subdivided and sent to various areas as working parties, I imagine. That's what's happened before. I have to go now, Daisy. I will write again when I get a spare few minutes. All my love, Tom.
It was always so nice to hear from Tom. I'd hang on every word, and the whole family would gather. The next day, I would visit Margaret, and we would go over what Tom had said and compare letters. He'd been gone for over a year now. It felt like a decade.
The old coal mining town of Luce and its surrounding area was fast becoming a wasteland. The villages that people lived in, the churches that they worshipped in, their houses and dwellings, destroyed, not damaged or ruined, obliterated. It was quite a sight, and not a good one. By the 10th of October, we were moved much closer to Luz. The battle had raged since the 25th of September and thousands had been killed. The Hohenzollern redoubt was cause of the problem. The enemy held the strategically superior position of the redoubt, and try as they did, no British troops were able to penetrate. The Grenadier and Coldstream Guards had tried. The Irish Guards, famously Jack Kipling was killed in action, attempting to do this very thing just a few weeks earlier. So, when we were ordered forward, it was with some trepidation that we did so. On the 13th of October, 1915, we took part in the assault on the Hohenzollern redoubt, one of the strongest German defensive positions on the Western Front. The objective was to recapture trenches that had changed hands repeatedly since the battle began. The attack began at 2 p.m. after a lengthy artillery bombardment. Unfortunately, the bombardment failed to destroy the German defences, and an unseen German machine gun nest remained unharmed and intact. We were C Company. Us and A Company were the first to go over.
At 10:45, the company moved from their positions and took up in the trenches of Centre Alley. At 12 noon, the artillery began their bombardment. At 1, a smoke cloud was created along the line. By about 2 p.m, all the smoke had cleared, and the order was given to charge. A and C companies went in one line, with D Company a few yards behind.
My heart was racing. My mouth was unbelievably dry. I couldn't think, but I couldn't stop thinking. The moment I climbed out of that trench, I felt incredibly vulnerable. I just got my head down and followed the others, running, sticking in the mud. I slid over twice. It was mayhem, utter mayhem. The noise, the smoke, I could barely see.
The men were met with terrific fire, machine guns on 3 sides.
I was in a bit of a daze. I'm not sure how my legs carried me. I ploughed on, head down. Then, amongst all the noise,
All the smoke, the screaming and shouting. Something caught my attention.
Tom never did come home for Christmas. I never saw him again. For Tom, there were no more Christmases, no wedding, no children, not even a funeral. He lived half a life. Daisy went on and eventually married. We lost touch. I miss her. She was a lovely girl. The family and I would go on to suffer more grief. A few months after Tom passed, we heard that his friend, Nobby Nightingale, had been killed. Apparently his unit were attached to the 1st Canadian Division, located between Whitchurt and Wolvergam. around 5 miles south of Ypres. He was killed on the 13th of January, 1916. A year later, in April of 1917, I received another telegram. My darling Henry, we'd been married a month when he left for France. A month of marriage was all I had with Henry. Again, I was broken. The war dragged on. It became a way of life. And then, in June 1917, more tragic news. Fred had been killed near Egypt. The whole family went into mourning once more. Willie was the only one who came home. You have no idea how it felt to see him walk into Hartman Road after the war had finished. Willie's time in France was eventful. His conduct sheet makes interesting reading. Swearing at an NCO, refusing orders, using improper language to an NCO. The list goes on. He spent more time on field punishment than he did on anything else. Willie was a character, that's for sure. He took no nonsense from anyone. Him and Big Les would make a formidable partnership. In 1921, I was 50. Willie was 24 and Big Les was 19. Staying with us at that time was Docker Bill Doyle. Bill came with his 2 sons, Bill and Ted, from his previous marriage to Anne Nightingale, no relation to Nobby, and his brother Ted, a merchant seaman. Bill would soon marry daughter Jessie in Silvertown, later in 1921. He too had served in the war. He was a hard-working, decent man, and he looked after his boys well. It is at his and Jessie's son Albert's wedding that I attend today, Christmas Day, 1947. I can't help but think of Tom on Christmas Day. He always loved Christmas. What a waste.
nothing will drive them away. We can beat them just for one day. We can be heroes just for one day. And you can be new. And I'll drink all the time, 'cause we're lovers, and that is a fact. Yes, we're lovers, and that is that. Though nothing will keep us together, we could steal time just for one